Hello, welcome back. I just got done uploading episode 242. Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you, Edgar, if you will continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will first head back towards Agnorosis. Let's see that one. I like the armor set. I don't like this weapon. Portrait. From here, we follow the path northwards to Notonias. There, we will find one of the Nias, which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need use the device together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Yeah, if I get done with the second dungeon before 5, I'll keep going, but if I do it after 5, I'll just stop the episode after I get to a satisfactory point. But we won't be getting to the second dungeon in this episode. Maybe the next or the one after, though. Here we are, Notonias. The Nexus will take us to Colomios, Zephoros, the western island. That is right there, looming large over us. Step this way, we can soon admire the view from above.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then, let's begin by... Well, well, an Arrhaeus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact, and then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Banar, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Vanar is her name, and she is the previous Azim.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is he, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future? I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether. Primals, you say? Well, I'm not familiar with such beings, but if they enthrall by warping the balance of ether, then yes, the magic would afford you a measure of protection. I gather from your question that you are not ignorant to its presence.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown. And there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge. So you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. And quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept engraved crystal and the quick-fingered Aureas, which made off with it. And as you say, I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by the business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the Oros. There's no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you see. Excuse me. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. Could I ask you to join the search? I appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading into Pointus Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. That reminds me, a while ago, sometime during last year, I bought almost one of every card in Magic that had a shark on it, or it was a shark. And then I gave it to one of my friends. The reason why I only bought one was because I just how I was thinking. Let's see. But yeah, I even got him the one that's the commander from Ikora, I think was the name of the set. The one with all the mutations and stuff. I got him the commander for that. I didn't get him the commander deck, because those things were expensive at the time. Yeah, my other friend, I got him some hound and other dog cards with partners and stuff. Which I also got him an Ikora one. So that each of us has at least one of the Ikora commanders. Mine is the Whale Wolf. But yeah, let's see what else was there. I also got the one with the hound, the Hydra Doodle. I do believe he already had that card, but I got it for him again anyway. Because my one of my favorite things that they have, my two favorite things in Magic are artifacts and the mutation mechanic. One of the things that I always wanted to try is make artifacts and mutations work together, like mutating artifacts. Someone's probably done it online somewhere, which I'll probably have to check one of these days. But I haven't been keeping up with the sets. The last set that I kept up with was Aftermath. I don't even think that was a set. I think that was like an epilogue for the previous set. And that would be the last time I really kept. Well, I also got Commanders, whatever it was, like 2022, 2023, whatever it was called. Our last Searcher returns. I am afraid the Orgos no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. A scintillating crystal upon which is stored some manner of esoteric concept. The crystal, well done. Wonderful, now I can focus on your tale without the missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? You travel often then, seems we have something in common. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azim, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet, I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest requires my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis. In fact, many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning the habits of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Hat? No hat. Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, it is time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodations, I will join you as soon as I have attended to the task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. I wanted hat. Edgar need new hat. Edgar also needs a lot of new accessories, but I'm not going to spend the time on those. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Right now my ear's itchy.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like.
I do like
Now
sweetmeats.
Will you tell us your tale?
Why don't you start from the beginning? Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future whence he came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital in Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which he must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them. Hermes and his creation Meteon, you say? If Dynamis is the self-same energy as Akasha, as it likely seems, then those two may well be at the center of the calamity to come. This warrants further investigation. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Shall we begin our investigation, then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus, I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Meteon, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. Jack Korn. See you, the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Asimini. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insight. Go and ask your questions. I will help with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Greetings to me. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes, and I was wondering if you might indulge him. Certainly, Mistress Fanat, anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? Well, I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His recent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. We can discuss any species in incredible detail, and is the leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your question. Was there anything else? I cannot rightly say as the chief's personal creation, Meteon has been subjected to observations and study like other concepts. So, one day she was simply there, and what do you make of her abilities? I understand that she is highly unusual, familiar, able to read emotion and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies, I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. I beg your pardon, I know Chief Hermes for many years, though I cannot say we are close. He has never withheld information to the detriment of our duties, if that is what you mean. Forgive us, we seem to have veered slightly off course here. Is there perhaps someone else who could tell us more about Meteon? That would be Tomaios. He has a similar expertise with flying concepts and is more than eager to discuss the subject. You'll find him conducting his observation on the bank of the stream, somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insights. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Come, Edgar, I think we've taken enough of Semi's time. Our investigation is off to a fine start. Wouldn't you agree? From here, I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries at the original observers. If you can track down the colleague Azim mentioned. Well, I did feel compelled to interject once or twice during the previous conversation. You seemed more than capable of drawing forth the answers you seek. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you finish speaking with this Tomatoes. If you ever wondered what the elementals in Britannia looked like, this is what they look like. You can see them in the Conjurer quest line. Also, they appear in several other places. Yes, I am Tiomos, but keep your voice down. You'll startle the birds. So what is it you wish to speak about? Hermes' work, a worthy subject indeed. Those beings soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties of existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What set the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they befrit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view, others would traverse the boundless sky in moments and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all are dumbfounded by his genius. My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Meteion as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via motion, but otherwise, her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Meteion's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then we will be deigned to register for public scrutiny, analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is forward upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me as a fellow artisan looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. Dynamis and Intellectus. These terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibit properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. I really must return to my office. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. Back already, and that was quick work. You were obviously clever enough to head off at the rambling as being mentioned. So have you any new findings to share? I see even an expert in the field has little understanding of Meteion's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues viewed Meteion as its personal project and could provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. Now we get the hat. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the entities which can control it. Yet, most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth, except for Hermes, it seems. Thus, I am inclined to stay our current course and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. And on that subject, there aught else on notes you can tell me about Meteion aside from unorthodox method of communication. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? So these siblings of her now travels the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you, though the mystery at hand remained unsolved. I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Crystallian. Not far from here, just follow the path to the west. We get there and we get mugged. This takes Edgar's shoes. This tower and the one further along are both part of Prisca Castellion, the facility where they archive all of Elpis's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magical and interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lesson short, see what these two archives have to share. If you could find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. You have questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Indeed, so if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should then have sufficient data for our official records. Now, what was it you wished to speak with me about? The Chief oversees personal research project, and by that I assume you mean Meteon. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Meteon appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although I do recall an intriguing tale my dearest Levelin shared with me. Levelin is my partner and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Meteon heavensward, a lot of them. For several days she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. That sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Fanat, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placements proposal. Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after the task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Will you favor me with a retailing of this site which so delighted your Levelin? Of course, or you could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. At present, she should be observing a subject and Metaboias Thelesia. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gaze upon the salty waters of the world's oceans, recreating in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Fanat. Even though such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Azim. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis for my techniques, many techniques in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation. Sorry, I had to start there because I was scratching my eye and I couldn't see the word. But none embodied that nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there is not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. Well, shall we take this opportunity to meet with Levelin in person? Allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. I will take you up to the Skyway and spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That would be most helpful, thank you. Have on the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through these doors, simply walk across to the next tower and ask for admittance to the upper tier. When arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the Skyway and you will find yourself at the entrance of Metabios to the SCA. Glean will be eager to share her tale with you, I am sure. Architecturally, this place confuses me. Because it looks like it's half built. Like, it got interrupted halfway and was abandoned to become ruins. Not just for that, just passing through. Then allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there is always an observer or two out on the upper Skyway. So long. Then again, I guess we could technically drive up here, but interest for not, I was not told to expect we would have prepared an official welcome. Please, there is no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galeen, if that might be arranged. Yes, Galeen, of course, I will inform her immediately. But she may be engaged in a testing phase. You can be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she is ready to receive us.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view. What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place? Dark, hidden places, rife with danger. Those have an altogether different, but no less powerful sort of appeal. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveler. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
Starts in the middle of the Dragon Sun War. Well, I guess we were technically at the end of it. Tail end of it. Or Chiffons. Chiffons.
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it. Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, Your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done. A passion swelled within me. An epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true, and a presence without. Immense, yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. As reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day, so very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning. And my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way. You, who are our future. Tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone, like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up. Then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Matea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.
Cabbage. So another piece of the puzzle falls into place. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others, which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter, and the more likely possibility proceeding under the assumption. Our next step should be to define why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Okay, let's see. Will the hat be a good one? Oh yeah, that looks good. I'm definitely going to craft this set. Yeah. Unless you could buy it, but I think this is probably a set you have to craft. It probably looks better for Dragoon or something, though. Because the scythe is not doing all that much favor for this set. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next.